Hi, I'm Dr. Dan. I'm speaking to you from O Vitamin Pro today. Now, one important topic that is very poorly understood by the general public is something called insulin resistance. If you can understand this a little bit better, maybe you can take steps to prevent it. And if you're fighting with this, you can take better steps to regain your health. But first, a little background. Cells primarily use glucose for energy. They can also use proteins and fats, but their primary source of energy in nearly all cells of all living things is based on glucose. So, the cell needs a constant supply of glucose and, of course, oxygen. The cell membrane contains specialized proteins that actively escort molecules like glucose into the cell. These receptors need insulin for activation, just like a person might need to enter a password to access a certain file on your computer. So in this case, the insulin acts like a password. How much insulin is produced by the pancreas will depend on the blood sugar levels. In a healthy state, you have just enough glucose always available, and your body makes the perfect amount of insulin to move that glucose into the cell. In certain inflammation states, your body will have trouble with the receptors, and the insulin password just doesn't work so well. So the levels of glucose in the blood keep going up because it can't get into the cell, and then of course your body's response is to make more insulin. This phenomenon of increased insulin in response to this increased blood sugar is called insulin resistance. Now, insulin is an inflammatory agent in itself, which is why medical doctors tend to hold off on giving you insulin for diabetes until the last minute, because they know that insulin eventually is going to cause some serious damage. Now, there are key indicators that you're drifting toward insulin resistance, so you'd be wise to pay attention to these. Decreased HDL, increased blood pressure, elevated total cholesterol, increased triglycerides, and increased uric acid. Now, the uric acid also causes joint aches and joint pains. Exercise is helpful because during the times of exercise, glucose can move into the cell without insulin. You will want to add at least 30 minutes of aerobic type exercise 5 days a week. Now, limiting foods that turn into glucose too quickly will help as well. Look for the list of foods with their glycemic rating, or what's called glycemic index. The lower numbers are better, meaning that the blood sugar raising ability of that food is lower. A high glycemic index food like russet potatoes will raise blood sugar levels faster than a low glycemic index food like a raw apple. So if you're showing signs of insulin resistance, you're probably gluten sensitive. Therefore, eating grains of any kind will tend to aggravate the situation. Read up on gluten sensitivity and get yourself tested for antibodies and genetic tested to see if this is a problem for you. Now, as far as supplements go, there's a few basic ones that will really help. For example, Apex Energetics Fibromin is specifically designed to help the glucose digestion and to slow glucose uptake from the intestines. This can be a very effective glucose regulator. For general cell health, everybody of course needs vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids. We recommend Nutri-West Complete Omega-3 Essentials and Nutri-West D400. And don't forget to add the Apex Super Digeszyme that will help improve your intestinal terrain, which of course in the long run will have great health benefits. So there's a brief overview of insulin resistance and some ideas to help you with that. Remember, start with small steps, and I wish you the best of health. Thanks for listening.